Alright, so earlier I was trying to figure out how to put this thing live, and it was not wanting me to do it. It just didn't matter what I was saying or what I was thinking or whatever. It just was not letting me do it. I don't normally put my face on the camera because I really don't like y'all like staring at me. I got a problem with that. I don't know what it is. I guess it is what it is.
Really, you let him do it, so I
I'll
don't
still
even
do it
let him do
anyway.
it.
I'm not like, my wife, she don't want nobody looking at her. She's afraid if you look at her that maybe you might think that she's just, I don't know, who knows.
I
Anyway,
let him look at you when we did the Bible study with everybody the other day.
so
Oh, kind of far away.
I can see my eyes are brown with this light that's reflecting my eyes. I didn't know my eyes were that brown. Anyway.
Try to like a lighter brown when we're up close.
mm-hmm. Okay. So today is going to be about the siege of Jericho. And the captain of the host is who we learned about before. Who was the captain of the host? Was referring to Joshua. Now, some people, my brothers just read this, I guess, the other day. I don't know how the way he's reading. He's reading all over the Bible, too. He's doing his own Bible study. Him and his wife, they read about a good 30 to 40 minutes a day. Y'all know that the Bible studies we do are definitely taking a lot of time just to be able to read these things. And all these words that we're reading here, these are the words of life, and we learn about the stories and the examples that other men have set for us to be able to walk in these things right here. Thank God for the power of the Holy Ghost. And we find out that we just can't do this by ourselves, that we find in the word that the Lord is our strong tower. We run to him and we're saved, and we know for a fact that he's got this thing handled. Recently, I need to get a little bit more prayer in because with work and doing the Bible study, it's a lot of reading and explaining. And obviously, the Lord's put me in this position for a reason to do this, for just so that we can read it for recaps, or for me. And my wife, she's never really completely read the whole entire Bible, and so she's getting some of the Bible study in, and she's learning about it.
And I'm retaining it a little
And
better
she's
now.
actually retaining it more with me reading by
I've read
following
this stuff. I
along.
don't remember the good.
So actually, that's pretty cool. She's gonna read 2 chapters tonight, so I want y'all to give. Well, you don't have to give Megan a warm welcome, but if you'll just let her know how she did. If you just say after the video's over with and I post it, and just you want to write in the comments or anything. If y'all are okay with Megan, she'll try to do her best with breaking it down, and whatever she doesn't do that good, I'll explain exactly what she just read. But anyway, so we are live right now, 2 minutes and 54 seconds and counting. So this is going to be called the Siege of Jericho. And this is Joshua chapter 6. And we're going to read Joshua 6 and 7 in this video. Then we're going to pause it, take a quick break, or a little break, and then we'll come back and I'll read another 2 more chapters tonight, because tonight's a lot to read. I think what is it, Wednesday?
5 actually, but
huh?
We can do it. It's all the way to 6. It's all the way to 10, I think. Let me see what's next week.
Are you sure about that? Let's make sure.
It says that it is.
So according to the scriptures or the paperwork, it says
we
that
already
tonight.
read Joshua 6 for 10. I think we're on 11 for 15. See if we already read that. I might be wrong. I felt like we already read it because I thought we were supposed to be further along.
Okay, yeah, we already did, because this is when he went to go in to Jericho. This is what we read before. So she's got me confused. So it's not Joshua chapter 6. It's Joshua chapter 11 through 15. So it's only 4 chapters. So let's just jump over there.
Sorry.
I don't think this is correct. It feels like that we did not read this ever, guys.
Well, maybe,
ever.
Maybe I'm not right.
I think she's wrong. Sorry, Megan. I think you're wrong. This time.
Well, we're on week 3. How did we get on week 3?
I think what's happened is that we have skipped over Joshua chapter 6 through 10, and we went to Romans 5 and 6. Yeah. And we need to be going back over these other 2 ones because of the time and the placement from the days that we started. Okay, let's go back. Like what I said originally. So, if Megan, if you want to right now, go on your telephone just to make sure to verify for a fact if I have it posted for each one of them. I have it posted on there what we've already done, and then we'll know for a fact where we're at.
That's a good idea.
And then we can read that. We really need to go back over Genesis chapter 4 through 7 next. We haven't done that part yet, which I know that's technically where we're supposed to be at today, but yet we're going to come back to that on, it's not that long. We'll come back to that on Wednesday. Wednesday, we're going to do that. And so.
Hold on. Stop, baby. Hold on. I don't see Joshua on here. Let's see. Joshua 1-5. Yep.
And so we are on Joshua 6.
And then Joshua, we got Joshua part 1 and part 2. That's Joshua 1 was 3. Wait a second. Joshua part 1, 1 for 3, and then part 2, 3 for 4. Okay. Did we do 5? Where's 5? Joshua 5. Okay. Yeah, so we only did that. We're on 6 now.
Okay, so I was right originally. So it is literally 6 through 10. So it's 4 chapters. That's all it is. It was not 6 through like 11 or nothing. It's 4 chapters. So we're gonna read. I'm gonna read 2 chapters. Megan's gonna read 2 chapters, and then after she's read that,
Why don't I read one? You read one. That's good.
So we're gonna do it like that. I'm gonna read one. Then Megan's gonna read one. Then I'm gonna read one. Then Megan's gonna read one. We're just gonna kind of do it like that. So 6 minutes and 19 seconds in. So here we go, guys. Reading the Bible daily. All right. So now Jericho was straightly shut up because of the children of Israel. None went out. None came in. It says, and the Lord said unto Joshua, see, I've given into thy hand Jericho. It says, in the king thereof, and the mighty men of valor, and ye shall compass the city, all you men of war, and go round about the city once. Thou shalt do 6 days. The seven priests shall bear before the ark 7 trumpets of ram horns. These are ram horns. So what is a ram horn? Something that they would blow out with the horn, and it makes a distinct sound. Okay, so they have 7 trumpets of ram horns. It says, and the seventh day shall compass the city 7 times. And the priest shall blow with the trumpets, and it shall come to pass that when they make a long blast with the ram's horn, and when ye hear the sound of the trumpet, all the people shall shout with a great shout, and the wall of the city shall fall down, and the people shall ascend up, every man straight before him. So what's going on here? So I'm just going to kind of pause like for a second. So this is Joshua chapter 6, verse 1 through 6. I'm sorry. Yeah. I'm sorry. 7.
5.
I mean 5.
Yeah, 5.
Yeah, 1 through 5. So what's going on here? It says that Joshua was straightly shut up because of the children of Israel. It says, no, I'm sorry, Jericho was. They were shut up. They locked all the doors. They closed it all. Nobody could get in. Nobody could come in. Nobody could go out. So this is what's happened. All the people of Jericho are so terrified that they got it all shut up. They know that the Lord is there, and he's there to come conquer their city. So what happened is they locked all the doors. They shut it all up, and nobody could come in. Nobody could go out. It says, and the Lord said unto Joshua, see, I have given into thy hand Jericho. He's like, he's reminding him, this is yours. Now go and possess that land. Take it. He says, I've given to the hand of Jericho, and the king thereof, and the mighty men of valor. He says, so this is what it is. This is who he's given to Joshua. It says, and ye shall come, it said, and ye shall compass the city, all you men of war. These are men of war. So what are we supposed to be when we go face any situation in our life? We got to be men of war, men, women of war. We are in a war here. This is just what it is. We're in a war. It says, go round about the city once. Thou shalt do this 6 days. Every single day for 6 days, go around the city. And just keep going around the city. It says, now this is what's going to happen. He wants all the people, it says, go round about the city once. Thou shalt do this 6 days. For 6 days they're going around about the city.
And I forgot how big. I don't know if it's.
And so I got the picture of the city, of just how big the city is itself. I mean, it basically shows on the picture I have on here on the front of the post what it looks like, just how big it was, just a good idea
How
about
many
what it looked
miles
like.
around it was? I don't
It's
know.
pretty big and it's very roundabout, so they had to walk around. So it took a long time to walk around this city. But here's the thing is,
Just how many miles it was? I want to know.
so Megan's gonna look up right now the amount of time that it took it to get around the
How
city,
many
or
miles
just
was
how
it to go
long
around
it
the city
was.
of Jericho? It was 6 miles. 6 point something.
6 point something miles just to walk around Jericho one time. So however long that it takes you to walk 6 miles is how long that it would take
It's
them
not
to
like
walk
a
around it.
ridiculous amount, but it's
It's not a
big.
huge amount of miles, but
still
6 miles is still a long time.
Yeah.
So I know for a fact if I walk around this park thing, if I walk, it's a mile run, or each one that you run is a whole entire mile. So if it's a mile run for each
This
one,
person says a mile. I don't know. Everybody
so
says
if
it's
you,
different.
but either way you look at it, it doesn't matter. So here's the thing: is if it's still six, so it's for a fact 6,000 steps for 3 miles. So that's for a fact 12,000 steps. They had to step 12,000 times just in order to walk around the city one time. So can you imagine? It means every single day.
Wait, that's not
This is going to take. Okay, here's the thing: is if it is 6 miles, if it is,
Okay. Sorry.
if it is, how many miles is it?
I think it's only like a mile and a half or something. I can't find it. Everybody says something different.
Okay, so
I'm
regardless,
sorry. I can't
it's a
find it.
huge city. It's probably
It's a mile and a half. Oh.
a mile and a half.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's a mile and a half to be exact. Megan found the true answer. Thank you,
I'm
Jesus.
sorry, guys.
So we're just going by what Megan's looking up. I was going by what she said. I didn't look it up myself. I'm just saying it here. So don't worry. We're figuring out the truth, and we bring the truth. So
I found it, Elise.
well, we
I
found
didn't
it.
let
So a
them- I
mile and
didn't
a
let
half, regardless, a mile and a half. Then, if you got to think about it, if a mile and a half is, let's see, 6,000 steps. So it's 3,000 steps. So 3,000 steps is how long it takes to do that. So 3,000. So let's say 3,000 times, 7. 3 times 7 is what? 21. Isn't it funny? It's 21, which is 777 if you do it by multiplication, which technically still equals the cross.
Oh wow.
They actually do 21,000 steps in order to cause the city to fall down. That's crazy. I never even thought about that. 21,000 steps. So it's 21,000. So he uses the number
Really?
21. Yeah, think about it. Whenever we walk around the thing for the mile,
Yeah.
and it says that when I get to the end of it, it says that in order for me to walk 6,000 steps, is walking around that track 6 times. So for me to walk around the track 6 times is 3,000 steps, right? I mean, it's it's 6,000.
Yeah.
It's 6,000 steps.
Yeah.
No, it's 6,000 steps to walk around the track 6 times. That's what it normally is. That's when
It
we
is.
ever did it before. Remember, we do it 10
I
times.
don't remember. Yeah. Did you?
Okay, so, well, regardless, we'll figure it out for a fact. I'm very sure that for me, if I was to walk around it, that's about what it is. For me, it'd be 21,000 times to walk around it. For me, I mean, each step is 21,000 steps for the person to have to walk for the whole entire week, which is a lot of stepping.
Yeah.
So, but regardless, they had to take out horns, and it says, and 7 priests shall bear before the ark. They're caring about the ark, and the 7 priests are bearing this ark. It says, and this is what's going on. It says, and 7 priests shall bear the ark, or bear before the ark shall 7 trumpets of ram horns. And 7 priests shall bear before the ark 7 trumpets of ram horns. It says, and the 7th day ye shall compass the city. 7 times the priest shall blow with the trumpets. Isn't that funny? So let's just say if what I just said was right according to the steps. You can look it up yourself and find out and do the multiplication. I'm not going to say for a fact, but I'm very sure that's about what it was whenever I did the stepping. And so I knew, so that's the case. By multiplication, it's 21 times. And isn't it kind of funny that he says that you have to blow it 7 times? 7 for 7 days, and then you're gonna have to blow, instead of compass the city 7 times. The priest shall blow with the trumpets. So there's 7 days they had to do it for 7 times, and then 7 times 3 equals 21, and then that's 21,000 steps that they had to do. So technically, all sevens is in this thing. It's all kinds of sevens. So isn't that funny?
Yeah.
If you could do it by multiplication and so on, which would be 7 steps this way, 7 steps this way. So however you want to do it, it's still 7 steps each time. 70, 70, 70, whatever it is. Who cares? Anyway, and it shall come to pass when they make the long blast with the ram horn, the last one. It says, and when you hear the sound of the trumpet, all the people shall shout with a great shout. So start shouting for the victory. It says, and the wall of the city shall fall down flat, and the people shall ascend up, every man straight before him. And Joshua the son of Nun called the priests and said unto them, take up the ark of the covenant, and let 7 priests bear 7 trumpets of ram horns before the ark of the covenant, the ark of the Lord. And he said unto the people, pass on, and compass the city. Let him that is armed pass on before the ark of the Lord. So be armed, be strong, be ready, have the trumpets in your hand, making these sounds. See, whenever somebody's blowing a certain sound, a distinct sound, if you hear, let's say, here's what it is. If you're riding down the road right now, and you know for a fact you're breaking the law, and the police come up right behind you and they throw on the siren sounds, the dun and the woo, 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 woo. You know for a fact when you hear those sounds that, dude, it makes you nervous. It makes you wonder what's going on. It makes you alert, and you know something's wrong. And so this is what's going on. They're coming in here like, hey, what's up? You know what I mean? And so everybody on the inside of the city knows that they're hearing these horns go off 7 different times. They know they've been compassing them. These people, their hearts are already melting. They're already been terrified of what is going on.
I think they're horrified.
I mean, can you imagine?
That would be
they're all knowing that somebody's coming in to come kill them all. And they think that their strong walls are going to protect them. It's not going to work. I don't care how many masks you put on to protect you from COVID. It is what it is. If it's going to happen, it's going to happen. You can't put nothing on no type of armor to protect you. Only God is the one that says that this is going to happen. It's going to happen. I don't care how much you think that it's not going to happen. Well, yeah. Well, guess what? They had the armor of the walls of Jericho, and guess what? They sure did fall. So. And this is verse 8. And it came to pass when Joshua had spoken to the people that the 7 priests bearing the 7 trumpets of ram's horn passed on before the Lord and blew with the trumpets, and the ark of the covenant of the Lord followed them. It says, and the armed men went before the priests that blew with the trumpets. It says, so who's the armed men? It means people that are ready to fight. They're going before them. It says, what they're doing what? It says, and the armed men went before the priests that blew the trumpets, and the reward came after the ark, the priest going on and blowing with the trumpets. So see, they're still blowing the trumpets. People are probably being terrified. Can you imagine if you're in a town and you hear these people coming in and they're blowing these horns like crazy? All the walls of Jericho just fell down. And then these people are coming in that you heard that they're like a bunch of slaughterers with their God that's destroying all gods, all the fake little gods. And they're in here blowing these horns.
God had them do that just to terrify the people.
These people are being terrified so that they would be like paralyzed by the Lord. Here he comes. And guess what? It's time for you to be paralyzed. You better be running. You better run if you want to save your life. You better run somewhere. Otherwise, you're going to be killed. And so here's the thing is, I don't know if anybody even had any time to even get out and see.
Sometimes I wonder why he had them walk like that, do that. But I wonder if it was to scare because the people were like, what?
Here's what it is that these walls were built the way that they were built. No man could ever actually come in to destroy these people at Jericho because the walls were so high, nobody could climb up to the top of them. Nobody could penetrate or break down the walls. See, but the Lord knew that if they would march a certain amount of marching, if they would walk around this whole entire city of Jericho, and that you would just continue to keep walking around it, marching around is what they technically done, and march around this whole entire city for 7 days straight, that the vibration would end up starting to break the actual foundation and cause it to crumble.
You should not do that.
But here's what it is that there was a crack somewhere in the armor of this actual Jericho, the walls itself. So there was a crack somewhere. There was something there that was going to cause it to fall. No man knew that there was something there. But somebody knew that it was, and that somebody was Jesus. God knew exactly what he was doing. He knew exactly where the flaw was. He knew exactly what they needed to do, and he knew exactly when they needed to shout. Because when they began to shout, when they began to blow the trumpets and the vibrations and the walking, when all this stuff was going on, then that's when all of a sudden the city, the city walls all of a sudden began to fall. They began to crumble. Here's the thing is, some of y'all might need to run right now. Some of y'all might need to dance right now. Some of y'all might need to march right now. Some of y'all might need to just take off and just start shouting and screaming for the Lord. Some of y'all need to let the voice of, let out that voice of triumph. Know for a fact that he's already got this. Know for a fact he's already protected you. Know for a fact that you're going to blast with the ram's horn. You're going to keep on shouting out. You're going to make loud sounds. It's going to terrify some people. It's going to terrify some people around you. It's going to terrify those devils. It's going to make them run and flee. It's going to make them terrified because they're going to know for a fact that you have confidence and full trust and knowing for a fact that you've taken up the armor that went before the ark, and that armor itself is the word of God. That's going to be terrifying these people, and it's going to be terrifying the situations that you're in. It's going to run off these demons. It's going to change your whole entire situation and what you're already going through. So that's what it is. Some of us, we have these walls that have to be torn down. Some of us have like walls like the city of Jericho, but the Lord knows exactly where the crack is in the foundation. The Lord knows where you built this and that, but the Lord will never ever let it be firm where he can't break it down to get to right where you're at. So he will cause those walls to fall, even though you look like you're thinking in your mind, how is this even possible? I can't never seem to get rid of these walls. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I can't seem to figure it out. What do I got to do in order to be healed? What do I got to do in order to be saved? What do I got to do in order to know that he's here and that my situation actually can really change? The Lord knows exactly where your crack is at and your foundation of those walls that you built. And here's what it is. If you'll just obey what the Lord says to do, you can go compass about that city that you built against to keep the Lord out, from not letting him come into your heart. And guarantee you this right here, you start walking around that, you start standing on that, you start fasting, you start praying for the next 7 days straight. If you'll just do that, I guarantee you, within the next 7 days straight, if you keep seeking the Lord, if you fast him and seek him and do whatever you can do to get to right where he's at, that these walls that you've built, and you will start actually shouting at the top of your lungs, if you'll start praising him for who he is, these walls will begin to fall down, and you'll start seeing a new light, and you'll notice that the walls are not there no more. And you'll notice that the enemy all of a sudden will start to flee, that the enemy is terrified of you, because now those walls that he wanted you to put up against the Lord, that now he's been exposed. Now you see him for who he is. Now you know for a fact what you have. Now you know for a fact that you've been prepared and you're ready for war, and that you got this the word of God to take up those arms to go. Now you know for a fact who is going with you. The Ark of the Covenant was with them, bringing God with them wherever they went. He was there present with them. So people knew that. That's why they carried it about with them. So this is what it is. Yeah. And so now we carry Jesus with us. We are the bearers of the Holy Ghost. We have the Almighty living God living within us. The power of the Holy Spirit of Jesus Christ, the Lord himself, is literally living within you. And so a lot of people are just like, oh, no, he's in heaven. But at the same time, I know it says that. No, you understand. You have the power of God, the maker of heaven and earth, is literally living inside of you right now. So here we keep going. Let's keep going. And it came to pass when Joshua had spoken to the people that the 7 priests bearing the 7 trumpets, it says, and the ram's horn passed before the Lord and blew the trumpets, and the ark of the covenant of the Lord followed them. It says, and our men went before the priests and blew with the trumpets, and reward came after the ark priests going. It says, and blowing with the trumpets. It says, now in verse 10, it says, and Joshua had commanded the people, saying, ye shall not shout, nor make any noise with your voice, neither shall any word proceed out of your mouth until the day I bid you shout. Then shall ye shout.
Sorry, I'll say it.
So this is after they're already going in. He don't want nobody to say nothing at all while they are doing all this, where they're conquering the city. Saying, you know what that means? While you're doing something, don't talk about it. Don't tell nobody what's going on.
It's just into the day, though, so I wonder if it meant they couldn't talk even when we went back to camp. It doesn't say. Like, seriously.
Anyway, so listen what it's saying right here. So this is what it says. We're going to go in, we can either read this literal or you can literally read this spiritual. According to spiritual wise, what I'm saying is some of us, when we start going through a situation, we began to tell everybody about what we're going through. We start wondering, well, you know what? I got to tell this person, this is what I'm going through right now. Next thing you know, you start having many voices in your ear speaking a word that you really don't need to hear. And before you know it, you get screwed up because you went and told everybody all your problems, or you went to go, you went and told everybody what you're fighting against. So guess what? He did not say this until they went to go fight. Isn't that kind of funny? If you notice that,
Yeah.
he did not say one word at all. He told him, said, don't you even speak a word. It says, don't even make a noise with your voice. Neither shall any word proceed out of your mouth until the day I bid you shout. Then you shall shout. So don't say nothing. Don't do anything until it's over. So the ark of the Lord compassed the city, going about it once, and they came into the camp and lodged in the camp. And Joshua rose up early in the morning, and the priests took up the ark of the Lord, the 7 priests bearing 7 trumpets of rams, and it said horns before the ark of the Lord went on continually, and blew with the trumpets. It says, and the armed men went before them, but the reward came after the ark of the Lord. It says the priests going on and blowing with the trumpets. It says in the second day when they compassed the city and returned into the camp. So they did 6 days, and it came to pass on the 7th day that they rose up early about at the dawning of the day. It says and compassed the city after the same manner 7 times only on that day. They compassed the city 7 times. And it came to pass on the 7th time, when the priest blew with the trumpets, Joshua said unto the people, shout, for the Lord hath given you the city. This is why they shouted, because they knew then. This is the whole purpose. This is why he's saying that. What he's saying is that until they did everything that the Lord said, they did not have the city until they shouted. They shouted for the victory. They knew with the confidence that the Lord is giving them the city, that this is fixing to happen. They didn't question it. They knew it. You see what I'm saying? So that's why he says, don't say nothing. Don't say anything. Just do what I said. Blow horns, everything else until the day. The only time you shall speak is there on the last day. Now we're going to start praising. We're going to start shouting. We're going to start screaming. We're going to start doing everything we can do, because now everything, all the foundations are about to be shaken. Because then now the 7th day means the number of completion. It was completed. It was over with. He had already won. The Lord had given them the city. Verse 17, it says, and the city shall be accursed, even it, and all that are therein, to the Lord only. Rahab the harlot shall live, she and all that are with her in the house, because she hid the messengers that we sent. And ye and the wise keep yourselves from the accursed thing, lest ye make yourself accursed when ye take of the cursed thing, and make the camp of Israel a curse and trouble it. He said, don't take anything that's in this place. The Lord don't want you to take nothing, because if you want us to take anything that's here, if you take anything that's there, of these accursed things, these idols and stuff that they would worship, and it says, but all the silver and gold and vessels and brass and iron are consecrated unto the Lord. They shall come unto the treasury of the Lord. So he said, this is all you need to keep. That's it. Everything else here, don't you go get intermingle. Don't you go play around with this other stuff they got. Don't take any of their idols or any of the other stuff they got there, because if you bring it back, you're going to screw up the whole entire camp and everybody in it. Don't do that. Don't do it. It says the walls of Jericho fall. So the people shouted with the priests blew with the trumpets, and it came to pass when the people heard the sound of the triumph, it said, or the trumpet, and the people shouted with a great shout. It says the wall fell down flat. So you see what I'm saying? So this is what he's talking about. Until they shouted, they couldn't do anything. They had to wait until they shouted with the voice of triumph. They knew for a fact, and the people were terrified inside the city. But here's the thing is, is that he told them before this that they can't say one word, nothing. Don't say anything on the seventh day. So sometimes when you're going through stuff, just don't talk about it. Don't tell nobody about it because a lot of people are going to try to say all kinds of stuff. Just keep on enduring until the end of this thing. Sometimes it's just better not to tell anybody. And so I said, let me just keep on reading so that Megan can get over here and read, and then I'll read, and then she'll read. Okay. It says, so the people shouted with the priests and blew with the trumpets, and it come to pass when the people heard the sound of the trumpets, and the people shouted with great shout, that the wall fell down flat, and so that the people went up into the city, every man straight before him, and took of the city. It says, and they utterly destroyed all that was in the city, both man and woman, young and old, and ox and sheep and ass, and by the edge of the sword. 22 says, but Joshua had said unto two men that he had spied out the country, go into the harlot's house and bring out thence the woman and all that she hath, and as ye swore unto her. Now, who is he talking about? Who's this harlot? This is King David's, don't also say great grandmama. It says, and the young men that were spies went in and brought out Rahab and her father and her mother and her brethren and all that she had. And it says they brought out all her kindred. It says, and left them without the camp of Israel. It says, and they burnt the city with fire and all that was therein, only silver and gold and vessels of brass and iron they put in the treasury of the house of the Lord. And Joshua saved Rahab the harlot alive. He said this woman was a real whore. She was a whore, but God saved her. God saved her. It said alive. It said in her father's house and all that she had, and she dwelt in Israel even unto this day, because she hid the messengers which Joshua sent to spy out Jericho. It says, and Joshua adjured them at the time, saying, cursed be the man before the Lord that raises up and buildeth the city Jericho. It says, he shall lay the foundation thereof, and his firstborn, and the youngest son shall he set up the gate of it. It says, so the Lord was with Joshua, and his fame was noised throughout all the country. So everybody knew for a fact now, as the way the Lord was with Moses, he's with Joshua. And they're both being used in a mighty way. So the Lord was with Moses. That's why Moses is dead now. Now Joshua's alive. And, Joshua was born at the time, even through everything at the time when Moses was here. And he was actually Moses' minister, if you read according to the scripture when we was reading it earlier. So this is what's going on. He's operating the same way, and the fame of everything that the Lord is leading him to do is being made known throughout all the countries, what it says, and that's verse 27. All right, Megan, you want to come over here, and you're going to read, Megan's going to come over here now, and she's going to read Israel's sin, which is Joshua chapter 7.
I don't like it facing me.
Here, huh?
I don't like it facing me, though.
Okay, well, I guess she don't want y'all to look at her, so I'm going to do this right here. And let's just give y'all a blue thing to look at. So I guess you can still see through it. But that's the panels. So just stay right here just a second and just listen. I guess that's all I can say. And these are our Bible reading plan. We're just going to put that up right here while Megan reads.
Oh, that's it.
All right, go ahead and read that. Oh.
Okay. So Joshua 7:1.
Yep.
But the children of Israel committed a trespass in the accused thing. For Akram, the son of Carmi, the son of Zebedee, the son of Zerah, of the tribe of Judah, took of the accused thing. A cursed thing. And the anger of the Lord was kindled against the children of Israel. He told them not to do it.
He told them not to take it.
Yeah, he told them only to take the metal and stuff. And Joshua sent men from Jericho. Sorry.
You're fine. Don't worry about it. It's okay. They're listening anyway.
Okay.
They're listening anyway.
Okay. And Joshua sent men from Jericho to Al, which is beside Beth-Evan, on the east side of Bethel, and spake unto them, saying, go up and view the country. And the men went up and viewed,
How do you say that word? You know, it's A-L-A-I.
Let's just say AI. Beauty.
AI. I'll just say AI because I don't know how to
It
put
says,
those
and they
two.
returned to Joshua. Go on.
And said unto him, Let not all the people go up, but let about 2,000 or 3,000 men go up and smite Ai, and make
Kill
not
that AI.
all the people to labor therein, for they are but few.
This is thither.
Oh, thither, for they are but few. So
So what's going on here?
they're viewing the country of Al.
So Archie is the troubler of Israel, who transgressed in the thing accursed. He was stoned to death for violating the ban during the conquest of Jericho.
Oh man.
Archie stole 200 shekels of silver, a Babylonian garment, and a wedge of gold weighing 50 shekels, and hid them in the earthen floor of his tent. So he literally stole it all and still hid it after God said, "Don't touch or don't take the accursed thing."
Yeah.
Wow. Keep on.
So they went over that. Okay, and the men of Ai smote of them about 36 men, for they chased them from before the gate even unto Shebrium, and smote them in the going down. Wherefore the hearts of the people melted and became as water.
That's awesome. So they were terrified.
Why
were they terrified? Why were they so scared? Why did their hearts melt?
Because they got struck down in the heart of the
so whatever they had, it says, let about 2,000 or 3,000.
Well, Israel lost though. But Israel lost.
People go labor thither, for they are but few. There's only very few people there.
Yeah.
It says, so there went up thither of the people about 3,000 men. So what happened? And they fled before the men of Ai. It says, and the men of Ai smote of them about 30 and 60
So Israel
men.
Lost. They lose because that guy stole the stuff, I think.
Yeah, so God was mad.
He was mad because he stole that. He stole the accursed thing.
God told him, don't do it.
Yeah. And then it sounds like they only had a few people.
Now, what's going
smote
on
all thousands of people.
So this is what Joshua does. Read 6.
And Joshua rent his clothes and fell to the earth upon his face.
Now stop. What does that mean?
It means you rip your clothes off.
Why did he rip his clothes off?
They did that back then when they got upset.
They were really upset.
I don't
he
know.
Was in anguish. He was like sad for Israel. He couldn't believe what had happened. It was a disgrace.
Yeah.
It was a disgrace that he's like, are you serious?
They just won all that, and then
we just won all that, and then you're going to go.
And then a few people are gonna make them run away.
Yeah, exactly. All right, keep going.
He fell to the earth upon his face before the ark of the Lord unto the eveningtude, so to nighttime. He and the elders of Israel, and put dust upon their heads.
So you see what I'm saying?
They're mourning.
Yeah. They basically look like a bunch of like powdered black people. Like at nighttime, if you had been in the nighttime, you wouldn't even be able to hardly see who they were. But they themselves, they felt bad. Like I'm talking about like devils or something almost. Because if you ever seen a ghost and it's like solid black, that's kind of how they look.
Yeah. And Joshua said, "Alas, how do you say that word? Alas, O Lord God, wherefore, alas, there we go. Wherefore hast thou at all brought this people over Jordan to deliver us into the hand of the Ammonites to destroy us?" So he's asking God, why did you deliver us all this way and let us get destroyed by them?
I'm gonna say it right.
Would to God we had been content and dwelled on the other side of Jordan. So he said we would have stayed, I guess, if we knew this. O Lord, what shall I say when Israel turneth their backs before their enemies? For the Canaanites and all the inhabitants of the land shall hear of it. So he's saying we have bad rotation now.
Now it looks like we have some kind of crack in our armor. It looks like we're going to be able to be defeated.
He's something he's mad about God about it because he's like, man, what's going on, man? And shall.
No, you see what he's saying? You see what he just said?
Yeah.
What he just said is now people think that we can be defeated.
Yeah.
Before it looked like we are undefeatable. Everywhere we went, we're defeating
now
everybody.
We look like fools.
Now it looks like they got a chance of being defeated. What can they do to be defeated now? So that's the very first time. Think about that, baby. If you notice this right here, according to what it's saying, before this, they never lost a battle. And then all of a sudden now, They're losing.
And they lost this one they shouldn't have lost to.
They lost for what?
Before they won the war.
What did they lose for? Why did they lose?
Because the
they
guy stole
they brought back the cursed thing.
Yeah.
And they kept it. And they went and hid it.
I don't know if Joshua knows that right now, though. I don't know. Okay, it says, and shall enmira us. It means surround us. I don't know how to say
Keep
it.
going.
And Ryan around us, and cut off our name from the earth. And what will thou do unto thy great name? So he's saying that's gonna make you look. It's not gonna make your name great.
So they're about to surround us, but
Yeah,
like cut us
it's-
off.
it's gonna make your name
we're
not
very
look good.
vulnerable right now. So Lord, you better. I need
And-
you to be able to step up, please, please forgive them for being stupid.
And the Lord said unto Joshua, Get thee up. Wherefore liest thou thus upon their face? He said, Why are you laying like that? Israel have sinned, and they have also transgressed my covenant which I commanded thee. For they have even taken of the accursed thing, accursed thing, and have also stolen and dismembered also, and they have put it even onto their own stuff. So he didn't know yet. Joshua didn't know just
The
now.
Lord reveals things.
Yeah, he told
the Lord's
them.
going to let people know, hey, dude, you think you can hide? You think you can just go
You can't hide anything
steal
from
stuff
him.
behind people's back? You think that I'm not going to reveal it to them?
Yeah.
Oh, no. Oh, you're going to find out real quick.
Therefore the children of Israel could not stand before their enemies, but turned their backs before their enemies, because they were accursed. Neither will I be with you any more, except you destroy the accursed from among you. So he's telling them something simple to do, though. He's just saying, just go, get the cursed thing out, and then you'll be okay again.
Destroy the accursed from among you.
Yeah.
What does it say? Sanctify the people. This is what it's about. The next one,
Up,
13
no,
through 15
13.
is about sanctify the people. 13 through 15,
Okay.
sanctify the people. Go.
Okay, up, sanctify the people, and say, Sanctify yourselves against tomorrow. For thus said the Lord God of Israel, There is a cursed thing in the midst of thee. O Israel, thou canst not stand before thy enemies until you take away the accursed thing from among you. So it's kind of like if you're sinning, you're living in sin, you can't. It sounds kind of like you can't get a devil to leave.
This thing is something serious. He said, look, a lot of people don't think.
So similar
listen,
to it.
Listen, a lot of people don't think that you can have something in the house that's an accursed thing. Remember how we went and
Oh, we
bought
still
that
could
puzzle?
do that.
You
Yeah.
remember how we went and bought that puzzle at the what was it, the Haven
Thrift
store or
store.
whatever, with the thrift store, like basically
It was
almost like a giveaway.
It kind of was creepy though.
But the thing is it kind of looked like it was like an old timey looking like thing. But yeah, for some reason the room started feeling kind of funny. But the thing was, it was like an accursed thing to us.
Yeah.
So until I said, "Hey, babe, there's got to be something that's in the room. Something's not right. It feels like there's something here that's not right." But we know there's something wasn't right about the puzzle. But after you get rid of that, I know I might sound stupid or like, yeah, okay, whatever. But the Halloween candy even was given place to the devil because it had like Halloween stuff on there, which it had demonic stuff on it. I know people think this stuff's just a joke. Well, it's just Halloween. No, I'm telling you, stuff can attach itself to it. And it was the cursed thing. Until we got rid of it, what happened?
Yeah.
We didn't have peace.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden, what happened after that? We got peace.
Yeah. You got better.
No, so somebody else that don't know any better, like my friend, we went to go to a store and he stole clothes. I said, "Hey, bro, what happened?" I said, "Man, my car blew up and all this stuff right here happened to me, and all this bad stuff's been happening. What happened to you?" "Well, nothing's happened to me." "What do you mean?" And then that's when I realized. Then the Bible says that He chastises those whom He loves.
So it's ones that are his.
So those are His. You're going to get it.
You
but
know
you
they're
ain't
his by that. Well, it's one of the ways
that
you
right
know.
there is like I don't know how much more of a clear answer you need. Keep going.
I think I'm on 14, aren't I?
Go. Yeah.
In the morning, therefore, you shall be brought accordingly to your tribes, and it shall be that the tribe which the Lord taketh shall come accordingly to the families thereof, and the family which the Lord shall take shall come by households, and the household which the Lord shall take shall come man by man. And it shall be that he that is taken with the accursed thing shall be burnt with fire. Oh, that don't sound good. He and all that he have, because he had transgressed the covenant of the Lord, and because he had wrought folly in Israel. So brought, I think it means brought.
Brought means 15 verse 2 is done a disgraceful thing.
To Israel.
He has done a disgraceful thing.
Okay, so 16. So Joshua rose up early in the morning and brought Israel by their tribes, and the tribe of Judah was taken. And he brought the family of Judah, and he took the family of
The people want you to go
Zarhites.
back and talk about this a little bit more.
Huh?
They want you to go back and talk about what happened. Why would God burn somebody and set them on fire? They don't know.
Because they're making everything dirt. They're making it's kind
What
of like
did
I
they
think
do?
it's like if you let somebody
So let me ask you
heaven
a
as
question.
sin on them.
Let me ask you a question. Does God get vengeance on people that kill, that cause something bad to happen to the person?
Yeah.
Did you not
It's
read
just
what
you
it
fire
said?
on their head.
It is
Yeah.
said that because the man himself brought the cursed thing in, all the people that were fighting in war basically died because of that man.
Yeah. So he's like
He,
kind of a
he
murderer.
was
in a way.
made a public example
Yeah.
and was set on fire. And it says that all that he had. It don't say who that he took. It could have been the whole family.
It sounds like it's his whole family. Kind of.
So they definitely were made an example. So, you know what I mean? That's pretty serious.
And he brought the family of the Zerites man by man, and Zabdi was taken, and he brought his household man by man, and Archie the son of Chemi, the son of Zebdi, the son of Zerah, the tribe of Judah, was taken. And Joshua said unto Archie, my son, give, I pray thee, glory to the Lord God of Israel, and make confession unto him. And tell me now that thou hast done. Hide it not from me. So he knows already. And Archie answered Joshua and said, indeed, I have sinned against the Lord God of Israel, and thus have I done. Sorry. When I saw among the spoils a goodly Babylonian garment, and 200 shekels of silver, and a wedge of gold of 50 shekels weight, then I coveted them, and looked and took them, and behold, they are hid in the earth in the midst of my tent, and the silver under it. So Joshua sent messengers, and they ran onto the tent, and behold,
I want y'all to see that. I want y'all to see what he did. He coveted money.
yeah, it was money.
So what was an accursed thing?
Money. It was the money. It was, yeah, I think it was anything that they coveted after.
It's what to buy stuff with. It's money. Why would somebody just want to keep money for what?
And he stole clothes too. So guess he must have liked the way the clothes
He
looked.
liked the clothes and he liked the money. But why would you take all the money, the gold, the 50 shekels of weight, and coveted them? That's what it says. 100 shekels of silver. So think about this right here. He went and stole all that stuff for clothes. What did I just say happened earlier? I said when I stole clothes with the other dude.
Yeah, and we didn't even know he stole clothes. We don't remember everything
what I'm
like
saying?
that. Yeah,
It's an accursed thing.
yeah.
It's an accursed thing.
Because you coveted the clothes, you want the clothes, you didn't need them.
Yeah, I coveted it.
You didn't have to
And
have
guess
them.
what happened? And he just said right here, I coveted it.
Yeah, I'm glad he doesn't like catch us on fire anymore.
I'm just saying. Man.
But yeah, and it was hid in his tent, and the silver underneath it. We're on 23 now. And they took them out of the midst of the tent, and brought them unto Joshua, and unto all the children of Israel, and laid them out before the Lord. And Joshua and all of Israel with him took Archie the son of Zerah, and the silver, and the garment, and the wedge of gold, and his sons, and his daughters, and his oxen,
And his ass.
and his asses, and his sheep, and his tent, and all that he had, and they brought them unto the valley of Anchor.
Isn't that wild? That's what we just said. Was what we thought it was the whole entire families. Yeah.
And Joshua said, why hast thou troubled us? The Lord shall trouble thee this day. And all Israel stoned him with stones, and burned them with fire, after they had stoned them with stones. So they just like burn them. They stone. Well, I'd rather be stoned than
set them
burned.
on fire. They
Yeah.
literally got them.
I think they burn their bodies is more
It
what it
says
sounds
they
like. They
raised
stone
over
them, burn
him
their
a great
bodies.
heap of stones until this day, so that the Lord turned from the fierceness of his anger.
Wherefore the name of the place was called the Valley of Anchor unto this day. Anchor means what?
That cat can't open that whole entire door all the way up to the end, can it?
Somebody just went outside.
Yeah, I know, but the door was closed. You didn't hear the whole entire door. You can see it right there on the. Oh, you can't see it on camera.
Okay, anchor means trouble. So they named it the Valley of Trouble onto this day. Okay, it's your turn. Unless you want me to read another one right now, and you can read the last one.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay. So here we
Somebody
go.
watching?
There was 2 people. Now it's 0 again. Hey, people go on and off. Okay, we're on 8. So Joshua 8:1. And the Lord said unto Joshua, Fear not, neither be thou dismayed. Take all the people of war with thee, and arise. Go up to Ai. It's not called Ai. I don't know how to say it.
Hey.
That was called A. There you go. A. See, I have given into the hand of king of A, and his people, and his city in his hands. So as soon as they burnt that dude and his family, they got
All
the
of a
city
sudden
that
they're
they.
able to do it. They get
Yeah.
rid of that other thing. Now the Lord.
They got rid of all the bad
See what
stuff.
happened?
Yeah, and
You
thou
see?
shalt do to A and her kings as thou doest unto Jericho and her king. Unto the spoil thereof and the cattle thereof shall you take for a prey unto yourself. So this one they get to keep some of the stuff. Lay thee an ambush for the city behind it. So Joshua arose and all the people of war to go up against Ai. And Joshua chose out 30,000 mighty men of valor and set them away by night.
Wow.
Yeah, valor. And he commanded them, saying, Behold, ye shall lay in wait against the city, even behind the city. Go not very far from the city, but be ye already. So wait, like right outside the city, and be ready for him to say, tell him to attack. And I and all the people that are with me will approach unto the city, and it shall come to pass when they come out against us as at the first, then we will flee before them. So I guess they're going to pretend like they're running. So they're going to go up there and flee, and then the other people are going to be waiting.
Can you tell them what verse you're on?
We're on 4 and 5.
Okay.
That was 4 and 5. So we're on 6. I'm about to read 6.
Sure you quote the verses though. Every verses quote a verse.
Okay.
Every 3 to 4
So we're on
verses
6
quote a
now. For they will come out after us, till we have drawn them from the city. For they will say, They flee before us, as at the first. Therefore we will flee before them. So they're gonna run, like get them to come out of the city. They must be really good fighters, these people.
Yeah,
because they had to trick
really
them.
dang good. No, what it is, the Lord's with them.
Yeah.
So the people are being like the one. Let's say
I mean, the people they're about to
in the
conquer
fight.
must have been really good
You gotta
fighters.
think about it though. Here's what it is. God is. Remember how the way it says in the book of Psalms, where David says, "You teach my hands to war." God gives them the ability to be able to fight and conquer. It comes from Him.
Yeah.
Think about this right here. If the whole entire Bible, the whole entire heaven is full of angels, and they're called angel armies. Armies are warriors. So obviously the Lord is teaching them how to fight.
Yeah.
And keep going.
This is 7. Then ye shall rise up from the ambush and seize upon the city, for the Lord your God will deliver it into your hands. And it shall be, when ye have taken the city, that ye shall set the city on fire. According to the commandment of the Lord shall ye do. See, I have commanded you. So they have to set on fire. Did they get it? We're on 9. Joshua therefore sent them forth, and they went to lie in ambush, and a body between Bethel and El. I'm just call it El. I don't know how to say it though. On the west side of El, but Joshua lodged that night among the people. And Joshua rose up early in the morning and numbered the people and went up, he and the elders of Israel. 10.
Okay.
Before the people of El.
Okay.
And all the people, even the people of war.
AI. Or
AI. Okay.
Say
A. And all the people, even the people of war that were with him, went up and draw nigh. And it came before the city and pitched on the north side of A. Now there was a valley between them and A. And he took about 5,000 men and set them to lie in ambush between Bethel and A. On the west side of the city. And when they had set the people, even all the host that was on the north of the city, and their liars in wait on the west of the city. They're liars. What does liars mean?
They're laying down.
Liars.
They're camping out. They're camping.
Joshua went that night into the midst of the valley. So I guess he wherever the midst of the valley is.
They're doing is they're scoping out the place, so they're going to see how they're going to conquer it.
Okay.
They're using wisdom.
And it came to pass when the king of
the name from 9 all the way to 13. It's called the battle plan unfolds. See, it's a battle plan. They're getting ready to go to war against these people to conquer this.
Okay.
That's what they're doing.
And it came to pass, we're on 14.
Yes.
And it came to pass when the king of A saw it that he hasted and rose up early, and the men of the city went out against Israel to battle. He and all his people at a time appointed. He before the plain, but he wist not that there were liars in the ambush against him before the city. So he didn't realize they were there.
They didn't know.
And Joshua and all Israel made as if they were beaten before them, and fled by the way of the wilderness. And all the people that were in A were called together to pursue after them. So everybody chased them. They must really that must be really fun to them. Every single person came and chased them. And they pursued it after Joshua and were drawn away from the city. And there was not a man left in A or Bethel that was not out after Israel, and they left the city open and pursued it after Israel. And the Lord said unto Joshua, stretch out the spear that is in thy hand towards A, for I have give it into thy hand. And Joshua stretched out the spear that he had in his hand towards the city. So he pointed with his spear towards it.
Mm-hmm.
And the ambush arose quickly out of their place, and they ran as soon as he had stretched out his hand. And they entered into the city, and took it, and hasted, and set the city on fire. And when the men of A looked behind them, they saw, and behold, the smoke of the city ascended up to heaven, and they had no power to flee this way or that way. And the people that fled to the wilderness turned back upon the pursuers. So Joshua and them were facing them now. And when Joshua and all Israel saw that the ambush had taken the city, and that the smoke of the city ascended, they had turned again and sued the men of A. And the other issue,
they killed them all by the sword.
They killed them.
They killed them all with the sword.
And the other issue out of the city against them, so they were in the midst of Israel. Some on this side.
I want you to slow down. You need to explain to them what's going on. We're not just reading a book.
Okay.
Explain to them what's going on. What's happening?
Where they took the city, they killed all the men of Ale.
14. I want you to explain from 14 to 23. Take your time. Do it.
Okay.
All right, here's what it is. Every one of these right here are called the battle begins. The next one, from 14 to 17, is when the battle begins. From 18 through 23, the ambush. So the battle begins where everything is going on, how the way it starts off. And then 18 through 23 is the ambush. It talks about the plan. So we just heard what was going on. We heard about the battle plan unfolds from 9 through 13. How the way that they're figuring out what to do, how they're scoping out the city, and they're getting a plan together. So they're basically working out their tactics. They're figuring out what they're going to do in order to conquer the city. So you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then afterwards, they began the fight, and then they act like they're running away from the people so they can pursue the city.
They got all the men to leave.
And they take all their, remember what God just said that they were going to get the keep. You see what I'm saying? And so they got all the men to leave on purpose so that when they turned back around and saw their whole entire city on fire, that it basically...
They can't do nothing now.
Now they were already screwed. And so now you got to think about it, their minds got screwed up at the same time.
Yeah.
So it was like it was already over with.
Yeah.
So can you imagine? It was just men that left the city. I'm very sure there was women and children and everything else that was in the city, and it's all on fire. So you got to think about it. Their minds are gone.
Yeah.
They're not there now. It's like everything that they were going to go fight for was like, oh, well. Can you imagine if all of a sudden in another country we went to go fight them, and then it's all of a sudden out of nowhere they came over here to fight us, but we wasn't here.
And everything was gone.
And then
and you were on the other side,
yeah. We were on the other side and just blew up their whole entire country over there. And then they were like, oh,
I had nothing to fight for now.
You know what I mean? There's no reason for them to fight now. Their whole entire ambition was killed. Now you see what I'm explaining?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So they let them away, and then he pointed his spear. And then they had Joshua point his spear, pointing to the city. So they went and ambush. They took the city.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was the second. That's an ambush. Is the second one. And the smoke ascended up to heaven. So like you said, the people saw the men saw the smoke, and then they had nothing else to fight for because.
Yeah. That's kind of like those other people are on the other side of the world, and
Yeah,
you know, they
they
saw them on
see it was
TV, and it'd be a big old television.
They
thing
knew they
walk
burnt
by
it
that
down
everybody would
because
be
they were in
talking
war.
about saying
Yeah.
that one side, like, you know, the other side of the planet is on fire, where the people set off nukes. Everybody would know about it.
Yeah.
You know for a fact that's the way it would be. They'd be like, what's the point of fighting now? Either I want to join them, or either if I kill them all, then everybody else over here that's here is going to end up killing all of us, and what's the purpose? Anyway, keep going.
So then they killed all the men in 21. And then, well, let's start on 22 now. And the other issue out of the city against them, so that they were in the midst of Israel, some on this side and some on that side. And they smote them. Who they smote? Hold on.
They're killing the people still.
Yeah. So that they let none of them remain alive. So they're still talking about how they killed the men. Yeah. To skip.
They
And-
surrounded them.
Yeah.
What
And the
happened?
king of A, they took alive and brought him to Joshua. So they just kept the one alive, the one
Oh,
man.
they kept the king.
And it came to pass when Israel had made an end of slaying all the inhabitants of Ale in the field, in the field, in the wilderness, wherein they chased them. And when they were all fallen on the edge of the sword, until they were consumed, that all the Israelites returned unto A, and smote it with the edge of the sword. So then they killed everybody else after they killed all the men. They killed
But
all
it
the men
says they
first.
fall on the edge of the sword. So let's see, what does that mean to fall on the edge of the sword? That's the
Struck.
question.
I mean, struck.
Does it say it means struck?
Yep. No, it doesn't. It says or by.
So it was now known that some people would just kill themselves.
I thought it meant kill yourself, but it doesn't say it doesn't this.
Well, you know what I mean? The Bible says that what was his name fell on the sword.
Yeah.
That,
Two
what his
people
name,
did.
Saul.
Saul and the other guy was gonna fall by the guy
he was
that
gonna fall
guard.
on the sword.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? You can think about it, they're probably so scared they just decided to kill themselves instead of being killed.
Yeah.
There's no telling what's going on right here. So there's a lot of people that have interpretations and stuff, but it kind of feels like they probably killed themselves and the other ones were actually killed. So no telling.
So we're on 25. And so it was that all that fell that day, both men and women, were 12,000, even all the men of A. For Joshua drew not his hand back, wherewith he stretched out the spear, until he had utterly destroyed all the inhabitants of A. Only the cattle and the spoil of the city Israel took for a prey unto themselves. According
Only the cattle.
only the cattle and
The
the
spoil. What's
the
the spoil?
spoil, like the stuff, like stuff they can use, like
Everything
gold,
making
silver.
that was not like a bad thing.
Yeah.
Keep going.
According unto the word of the Lord, which he commanded Joshua. In 28. And Joshua burnt A, and made it a heap forever, even a desolation unto this day. So there's nothing there to the day that whatever how long ago
And the
this
king
was.
of A, he hanged on a tree until eventide. Wow.
Ow. And as soon as the sun was down, Joshua commanded that they should take his carcass down from the tree and cast it at the entering of the gate of the city, and raise thereon a great heap of stones that remain unto this day. So they
basically
They
made the king
just-
as an example
Yeah.
in front of everybody. So everybody that walked in there and say, hey, if you're getting worried, here's a king.
yeah,
He's dead. He's hanging. You see him?
no wonder why nobody built anything there after that.
So
So-
this is what it was known as. That these people were like a bunch of, it would seem as though if it was today, we would say, them people are crazy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You think, "Man, I'm terrified of these people. They're coming this way. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah. Okay, so we're on 30. Then Joshua built an altar unto the Lord of God of Israel in Mount Ebal. As Moses, the servant of the
So
Lord,
what did Joshua do?
he built an altar to God
Why?
because he helped them beat the people.
So why is he building an altar?
Because he helped them beat the people. I just said that.
Is that the only reason why he did it?
I don't know.
Then Joshua built an altar unto the Lord of Israel in Mount Ebal. Why did he build the altar? Because he has a new place. The altar is for a place that you're going to go meet with the Lord at.
As Moses, 31, as Moses, the servant of the Lord, commanded the children of Israel, as it is written in the book of the law of Moses, an altar of whole stones over which no man had lifted up any iron. What's lift up any iron mean? It means wielded any iron tool. Okay, so you can't wield. I guess it's made out of stones instead of. It's not man-made. It's made out of like natural stuff. I think is what it means.
They offered their own burnt offerings unto the Lord and sacrificed peace offerings.
32.
Where are they doing this at? On the altar, right?
In Mount Ebal
Yeah,
on their
so it
altar.
says that they're doing all this on the altar. So what are they doing? They're offering sacrifices. That's why they built the altar.
That's why they build it, to offer sacrifices.
You see what I'm saying?
And 32 is, and he wrote them upon the stones a copy of the law of Moses. So the I guess the stones the altar is actually made out of then. Which he wrote in the presence of the children of Israel. And all Israel and their elders and officers and their judges stood on the side of the ark and on the side before the priests and Levites.
Okay, we're gonna have to get done with this part right here.
Which
because
bear
I
the
wanna do
ark,
another video.
hold on, which bear the ark of the covenant of the Lord, as well as the stranger as he had was born among them. I don't know that. What stranger? Have of them against Mount Jezimine, and half of them over against Ebal. As Moses, the servant of the Lord, had commanded before, and they should bless the people of Israel. So it's saying one people's on one side and one people's on the other side, I think. The strangers. So I guess the strangers would be the people that the Gentiles that want to live. I think a stranger means Gentiles that want to be God's people that they let in. So half of the people went against Mount Ebal as Moses commanded before them. I think it means there are two different areas. Okay, and 34. And afterwards he read all the words of the law, the blessings and the curses according to all that is written in the book of the law. So he read the whole thing. It probably took a while of it to everybody. 35. There was not a word of all that Moses commanded, which Joshua read not before all the congregation of Israel, with the women and the little ones and the strangers that were conversant among them. Conversant means present, probably. Says it
Living.
means living
All were
among them.
living among them.
Yeah. So he read the whole law. I wonder how long that takes.
All right. Well, I guess that's it for this one. Everything's pretty much self-explanatory on the last part. If you have any questions, let us know for that. Thanks for tuning in. We'll be back on the next one.